Have you ever wondered what exactly proves that you own your home? Well, let's get right into it. Welcome to this explainer, where today we are going to act as your ultimate instruction manual for uncovering, understanding, and frankly, protecting your absolute biggest financial asset right here in Gaston County, North Carolina. Seriously, think about it for a second. Do you really know who holds the legal rights to the ground beneath your feet? It sounds like a simple question, but property ownership entirely depends on one historical document, the property deed. Whether you're a first-time homebuyer, a seasoned investor, or maybe you're just tracing some family land, knowing how to navigate these records is absolute power. So, here is our roadmap for today. 1. Demystifying property deeds. 2. Preparing for your search. 3. Searching the online portal. 4. Actually reading your deed. 5. GIS and advanced tools. And finally, 6. Protecting your property rights. Okay, let's kick things off with Section 1, Demystifying Property Deeds. You know, the best way to think of a property deed is like the ultimate receipt and instruction manual for a piece of land. In real estate, there's this concept called the bundle of rights. See, when you own real property, you don't just own the dirt. You own the legal right to enter it, use it, sell it, lease it, or give it away. The property deed is the official document that outlines exactly which of those rights in that bundle you legally hold. Plus, it details any private restrictions, like HOA rules, for example, that might limit what you can actually do with it. And here's the quick look at how Gaston County has managed these vital records over time. The Register of Deeds has been tracking these rights ever since 1845, when the county was founded. Fun fact, if your property history goes back further than 1845, you literally have to go look in the archives of neighboring Lincoln County. But over the years, things evolved. The county moved away from those giant, heavy physical paper books, retired the old book map and parcel tracking system back in 2002, and as of 2026, migrated to a highly efficient modern digital portal. Moving right along to Section 2, Preparing for your search. Before we jump into the database, you need to gather some specific info to make your search seamless. I mean, you can't exactly just type in, "that White House on the corner," right? You're going to need at least one of these key pieces of data: the current or past owner's first and last name, the primary property address, the 6-digit parcel ID, or the 10-digit North Carolina PIN. Now, zero in on that number 10 for a second. That 10-digit North Carolina PIN is absolutely crucial. Why? Because while names change through marriage or a sale, and addresses can honestly be a little tricky with rural routes, that PIN permanently links specific land registry instruments directly to the county's tax mapping parcels. It is, for sure, the most precise way to locate a specific property. All right, on to Section 3, Searching the online portal. Now, if you've searched for deeds in Gaston County in the past, please pay close attention here. As of May 28, 2026, the county launched a brand new online portal managed by Courthouse Computer Systems. That means any old bookmarks or saved links you might have had to the previous database, they won't work anymore. But the great news is that this new system is completely free to the public and requires zero account registration to use. So once you're in, you have several really effective search options based on what information you gathered earlier. You can just use a simple name search to find buyers and sellers. If you aren't totally sure how a historical name was spelled, the advanced interface is great. It uses these clever phonetic matching algorithms. Or if you already have that 10-digit PIN we just talked about, you can use the property identifier search to jump straight to the exact records you need. Searching really is just a simple, logical process. You visit the site at gastonnc.courthousecomputersystems.com. It'll prompt you to read and accept a standard statutory disclaimer. From there, you just pick your search interface, plug in your data, hit search, and browse your results. It's built to be incredibly user-friendly. Let's dive into Section 4, Reading Your Property Deed. Okay, so you pull up a document. Do not let all that old-fashioned legal jargon intimidate you. It's like a giant puzzle, and you're just looking for a few key pieces. First, spot the grantor. That's simply the person or entity selling or transferring the rights. Next is the grantee, the one receiving the rights. Then check out the legal description. Actually, scratch that. It's not just a description or an address, it's the exact, surveyed geographical boundaries of the land. And finally, keep an eye out for covenants and restrictions. Those are private, legally binding agreements that limit what you can do with the property. As you're reading these online, though, you do have to keep this official disclaimer in mind. The online system is a phenomenal research tool, but it is technically not the legally binding official record. Oh, and here's a quick pro tip. If you ever see index entries showing up in red text, that just means they're temporary and haven't been entered into the permanent county index quite yet. Next up, Section 5, GIS, and advanced tools. Now, a lot of folks get tripped up here. Beginners often don't realize you actually have to consult two completely different county systems. The Register of Deeds is all about the legal ownership documents, who legally owns the place. But if you're looking for the appraised property value, the tax history, or those really cool overhead aerial maps, you've got to use the county's GIS and tax portals. Just keep in mind that GIS map is a visual aid. It is definitely not an official legal boundary survey. And checking those tax portals, specifically the county's spatialist database, is absolutely crucial before you ever think about buying a property. Why? Well, in North Carolina, unpaid property taxes automatically create what's called a priority lien against the real estate, meaning the government's claim to that property supersedes almost anything else written on the deed. You definitely want to double-check that a property is clear of tax liens or pending foreclosures to protect yourself. Which brings us nicely to our final section, Section 6, Protecting Your Property Rights. Look, we live in a digital age. Things like real estate fraud, identity theft, and predator-filed liens are real threats out there. To combat this, Gaston County has this brilliant and highly recommended automated deed fraud protection service. You just go to the Register of Deeds website, pop in your name and email for free, and you're set. The system constantly monitors all incoming deeds and mortgages. If someone tries to file a document transferring your property or slapping a lien on it, you get an instant email alert so you can stop the fraud dead in its tracks. Now, digital alerts are fantastic, but sometimes you just need the real physical thing. If you need an official, certified hard copy of your deed for legal reasons or just to keep in your safe at home, you can head down to the courthouse on Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Way in Gastonia. Uncertified copies are literally just a quarter a page. Certified ones carry a small fee. Or you can just order a certified copy entirely online through their Get Certificate Now portal for a really minor convenience fee. Before we wrap this up, I do want to leave you with one very important disclaimer. While this explainer is completely designed to empower your own personal research, you've got to remember that the folks at the Register of Deeds are record keepers. They can't legally add or remove names from a deed for you, and they certainly cannot give you legal advice. If you uncover something that requires a legally binding change, you absolutely must consult a qualified professional, like a real estate attorney. But with all that said, you now possess the step-by-step tools to confidently search, decode, and protect property records right here in Gaston County. You know the difference between the legal deed and the tax map, and you know exactly how to lock down your assets with those fraud alerts. So I'll leave you with this final thought. Armed with all this new knowledge, what fascinating history, or maybe even surprising legal restrictions, will you uncover hiding in your own backyard's deed? Happy researching!